Program in MH Abu Siddiq Polytechnic. It's our pleasure to have you as a speaker in our FDP program. To all the participants, I would like to introduce to you our speaker. Today's topic: layout management, look and feel customization, and storing data in mySQL via our graphic user interface. And Dr. Kumar Tripathy is our speaker for the day. Sir is a professor in computer engineering at Bosco Institute of Technology, and he had also been the Dean of Research and Development at Don Bosco Institute of Technology, University of Mumbai. Dr. Tripathy is also an adjunct professor to School of Science, Edith Cowan University, Perth, Australia. He had been research mentor to Smart Farming Project, Thailand, with RM University of Technology, Bangkok. Dr. Tripathy had been the secretary to RUSA, Government of Maharashtra, for higher studies in geospatial technology. He is a senior professional member to IEEE ACM and has been treasurer to the IEEE Geoscience and Remote Sensing Society. Dr. Tripathy earned PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, and has been 22 years in software industry, research and academics, having 125 plus publications to repute. He has been editorial board member of IEEE Transactions on Computational Social Systems and Elsevier's Journals of Information Science. He has been the general chair and program chair to many IEEE ACM international conferences and has delivered many keynote talks. He has been carried out many collaborative overseas projects. His research interest includes machine learning, data science, sensor networks, ICT, and for agriculture and rural development. We welcome you, sir, to this faculty development program. Sir will also be taking certain tools which he uses on his daily basis. So this is just an add-on of his information which he'll be sharing with us. Sir, it's a pleasure having you for this program, and I hand it over to you, sir. Okay. Sir, now you can carry forward. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Is it visible to you now? Is screen visible to you? Madam, is my screen visible there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Thank you. All right. So, yes. Okay, thank you. So today's session, that what I'm trying to share with you is the Python layout. Yeah. In MySQL. Okay. So I am dividing this session into two parts. I will take a little break also in between because instead of continuous 3 hours, let's have two sessions over here wherein I will do the Python layout management, very basic thing that you will require, and then the how data stored in the MySQL, which is a default engine for the Python people have been using. It is not MySQL. There are many more things has been, but of today we will discuss more on the MySQL over here. And the simplest way I will try to explain with a few screenshots what I've used over here, and then I will share my experience what I've been doing. I will show you a glimpse of it. That is what my idea behind this program is there. So starting with Python layout management, when I talk about Many of you up till now you have been knowing that what exactly Python is and what is the capability of Python. Here today I will focus more on towards the layout management is concerned. So when we talk about the layout, when we talk about, then we have to look into the tkinter in Python, and that is what the GUI widely has been used up till now. But some of the tools apart from the tkinter is a PyQt, Kiwi, JPython, WXPython, PyGui. So apart from these, all these are things. There are many more tools, but however, these are the commonly used tools has been used with the Python GUI for making the things more easier is concerned, right? So when I talk about things of GUI, then you may have to look into the import a module, initialize a window, and you have to the rename if required, obviously for your customization whenever things are required. And you have to define different kind of widgets over there. Then you have to make the geometry management using a different packings, right? And then the main loop method. These are the basic things one has to know while dealing with the basic GUI of the Python is concerned over there. Now, when I talk about all these things are there, what comes in the mind over here is of something like this. So let me look into that. What exactly the Python GUI or some other things that you are talking about that. So when I talk about this, the the window manager with the tkinter tk function, and this method definitely creates a different kind of a blank windows with a close, maximize, minimize buttons on the top as a usual any kind of GUI that you have all the times are there. So then you may have something like as I said that one anytime when you have to use it, then that also you can use or you can rename in that one. Then you can give a different levels for that one, which is to be used for different kind of insert into a text windows. All things are there. Then you have to look into different geometry of the different positions, and that is called a package, right? Which I will discuss a little bit later. And then the way you want to display the window, maybe you manually close it, or maybe through a loop you want to close it. So that can be carried out with a small piece of code in that one, right? When I looking into this, so let me look into a few things that code what you write, right? You so-called a tkinter in your Python library, right? So then that means you have to write window and you have to input. So this is what basically to rename a title of any kind of window that you want to use it, right? So if you want to use a GUI, right? Window.title, you written GUI. So that look into that one GUI I have written. If you look at below that small snippet I'm using it, GUI written over there. This is what the code written window.title GUI. When you write down, this will come in picture here. Now, as I said that one, there is a pack. As I said that one pack, right? Pack parenthesis. So this is used to show the object in the window. Whatever you try to write, so that will be showcased. So, example in this case, we written here, welcome to datacamp tutorial on Tinker. So that way. So if I write here text, you are appearing welcome to datacamp tutorial, or say welcome to Sabusudi Poltech, whatever word that we use with a dot tech, and then this will be taken to a main loop and which will appear like this. When you run this piece of code in a terminal, definitely you will see a output of like this Quicksilver. So this is just to rename a window, and what you want to show a title of a window, that is what it is trying to say, that one the window is what you are trying to say. Second thing that you talk about that similarly you will use a widget button and a GUI with a display also. That one, suppose you want to use a button on that one, to click button, something like that one. So instead of some text, you want to use a button there. So nothing but, so as I said, up to window title, I have used our window title button.gui, which is appearing button.gui. If you see over here, right? Again, that's the only change I have made out over here. Whatever I am trying to write, I write over there. That is what I may create a button over there also. Though I am going to create multiple buttons, how the button has been created See, Python is a very beautiful language, and you don't have to look into more on the logical exhaustive procedures required. No, it's just like if you know a little bit of HTML or a little bit of a PHP, not required. Of course, you know thoroughly a little bit HTML. It's just like scripting language. Function that is one has to remember. The rest of things are just like a HTML file. So next we're talking about a different kind of widgets over there. So these are the similar to any kind of a spirit elements in HTML that talk about different type of elements which can be used by the tickinter, and they are definitely standard geo elements, and you don't have to worry much on that one. They are like any controls, any text, any menus or text boxes are there. So that way. So the simple syntax I just looked over here, that when you create a button over there, then you are looking into the called the button widget, where you're using a ticketed button, which is a a that you are talking about a frame option, and that you will look into different kind of a color or a command or a background color change or a foreground color change or image or height that is required for this kind of things are there. So how it looks like, I will tell you next slide. So I'm using, of course, I'm going to show that one here. Let's see. So here, here I just using a multiple buttons, button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, which I am going to explain earlier. Then I will come back to over this one. That's what I'm trying to explain. So coming back again to those things are there. I was talking about the button. So this is a where you want to place the button, how you want to place the button, and different color or different shape and size that we are looking into that. I will show you a code piece, a small piece of code, what you are going to write over there also, right? So apart from button, you have a something called a canvas. So canvas is something that one you are different kind of shape in your GUI, and different kind of drawing methods that has been used for a so-called a canvas is concerned. Now here the different widget parameter for your window frame or where you want to place, that can be like a border or a background color or height or width. That is what you look into a canvas. Similarly, you have something you call a check button, whereas it is a in the form of a on or off or a true or false. That is what some kind of a check button you are using, and apart from canvas is concerned, right? So here again the same thing you have to, these are again look for the cursor control, right, method for a check buttons are concerned. Then after that you have a something like this one. This is a widget used to create a input fields or to get input from within the GUI framework, right? So then there is called a frame, where it contains the grouping, organizing, place of where your all different buttons could be there, and levels. That means you want to give a different level. Sometimes not only level also, but also you can put an image also in these cases over there. So these are the things, primary things, a basic thing you have to know when you are framing layout user. So what are the things you have to know? One is the button, one is the second one the check one, the third one the entry, and then third the next one the frame, and fourth is the level, right? So this is what you want one has to know it. Then when you are talking about a layout, obviously when you talk about a layout, where to place, how to place, when to place, all this comes in picture, right? So this is a different kind of a measurement, which is you are giving a parent frame or a different or your widget area is concerned. So obviously the tickinter definitely have a different kind of functions available. As I said, I already used shown a pack. Similarly, other two functions could be a greet or a place also there. So what is this? As I already told you, pack where I written earlier. So I was trying to say how the pack function has been used. If you see here, I'm involving a pack over here, button widget dot pack. This is the pack function has been used, right? So in this case, so similarly, one can use a greet grid, which is a table-like structure, and I will talk you different in the later of this tutorial. And then the place and where you want to put a specific position instructed by any kind of a parent wheels are concerned. So this is the basic thing one has to understand: pack, grid, and place over there. Let me go to the that window, then I will explain you what exactly these things are there. So when I talk about the geometry management, when I talk about, as I said that one, so the organize widgets and throughout the parent frames and parent widgets areas are there, right? So when I talk about all these kind of things, stops are there. Why these things are required? When you look for any kind of a window layout, a proper plannings are required there. Hence, accordingly, you have to plan where to place, how to place, and when to place. So this kind of a small things is very much required. That is what we talk about. These things are there. So so this tkinter is a tool with Python support in the library, which allows us to make it ready-made things to be used, and we don't have a small piece of code, and that can be used as a that way. So as I already told that one module, then you every time you import this one to use these functions, and then you every time you have to, not every time, but of course when you're writing a code, obviously initializing is a normal function anytime whenever any programming that we are using it, and rest of things are you follow whatever levels or whatever define or whatever geometry function you want to use it. So these are the simple things that you want to write. So when you look for a tkinter, which is commonly comes with a bundle with a Python using a TK UI framework. It is famous for its simplicity and graphical user interface, and obviously it is open source and available for any kind of Python license that has been taken, whether you are using a Linux environment or using a Windows environment. All these are same, only little bit changes here and there are there, right? So when I talk about this three things, pack, grid, and place, which is a part of geometry management is concerned, now you have to look into that, how you have to organize or the layout and widgets are concerned, right? So organizing layout and widgets layout means, this means you have to use both geometry and widgets to as a magic from the tkinter is concerned, right? To arrange this layout window, you have to use a frame widget class, and we'll create a simple frameworks that, and then you will look into that. I will show you a small part of code, and which will be shown later with how things has been built. That means you will define frames as a top and bottom with a help of your so-called a tech class is concerned, right? So the frame class will help in creating the division between the windows. Basically, a single window will be replicated twice as a top and bottom in the form of a frame is concerned. So, and finally, and two for each frame, and one can name, color your buttons as you like as a parameters are concerned. So how the thing looks in here, I say that one each time whenever I write a code, right, I'm importing thinker. So of course I am showing a part of it so every time I'm using a import tkinter, but when you're writing an entire program over there, one import tkinter is enough, because it gives you, it is importing everything over. Here I'm showing you part one, so each time I am defining over here. So let's create. So that means you will first create a division with the help of a frame class and align them with the different top frame and the window pack, obviously, right? So what I am going to create is that wherein I have to create a. Let me show first the what exactly this window, and then you will come to know what I am writing over. So I'm creating a something like this, and for that I'm going to explain the code over there. So so that means I'm creating 4 buttons. Now what I'm trying to create over here? 4 buttons are there, true, where the name is I'm putting a GUI, and I have taken button 1, shape and size, a different color. Button text also, button 3 and button, all the 4 buttons are same shape and size, but they are placed differently and their color is different. So that is what I am changing now. So this is a small window where you are talking about and you are creating a button. Of course, as per your location, you are trying to say, right? So you can create, you can choose, this is the place where I am using, but however you can click left, right, or top, button, whatever. So what I'm saying that one, 2 horizontally and 2 vertically I'm creating over there, and for that one I'm going to explain the code what exactly it is that one, right? So what happened now here? So I'm writing over here now as I using a so-called the pack. The pack is that side button, and I'm also using a the frame, which is a tinker frame, which is a window pack. I'm talking about all the time. I'm using a pack function over there, right? So I will create a division with help of a frame class and align them at top and bottom. That is what I'm trying to say. That is what I'm here written here. The top frame equal to tinker.frame, there is window, and I'm using a pack. That is what. Similarly, bottom frame, which is a tinker.frame window, and pack, I'm talking about a side, which is the bottom over there, right? So what is that bottom? Bottom is what I'm talking about. The top and bottom I'm using over there. So once the frame you are created, then you will all set to add widgets in both the frames. So I'm writing bottom 1, btn1, which is a tinker.button top frame. Text I'm writing a button 1, and the color is red, right? And see the background color and foreground color I'm trying to say there. Button 2 also I'm writing the button 2 over here, buttn button 2, and I'm using as a green. Similarly, button 3, I'm writing as button buttn button 3, and the purple color I'm using here, right? And but I'm using a packages side left. Here, one is the side left, right? Other one is in the middle I'm using here. So these things I'm trying to show here in the small code I'm using over here, right? Buttons, different buttons and different colors, purple, orange, green, all things are there, right? And the pack very the side left or side upper side where I'm going to say. So this is the way one can create when you run this code, and then you will get all these things are there. So that is, we talk about a one has in the one after another, but of course one is left, another one on the top and bottom I'm using. So this is the way, right? This is so-called your different window layouts or widgets, how you organize. That's the way you writing over there. Next, talking about the so-called a grid, much like a frame, organize the widgets, and it use a matrix row and column concept, and it, like this we're talking about grid. So now if I talk about a grid, example 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, this is a square matrix of 2 2. This is in the form of a grid. In fact, all this now any kind of image that you talk about, all these are more in the form of a grid, right? Or even when you calculate any kind of things are there, we talk about always as a matrix form, and that's what the easiest way of calculating. So hence I've taken a small one. And how do you make a grid? And so that you can do this one. So grid primarily takes two parameters, row and column, and as in the shown in this figure that we talk about here, imagine you have a 0 0 correspond to the first button, while 0 1 to the second, and to place two buttons side by side, the grids will read row and column, and then as a 0 1 0 0 and 0 1 respectively. So that's what let's use this check button, this where it has been used a check button. Check button the grid class work, and you will define two check buttons, and specifically text for both the buttons, and the state of the check button will be decided by the on value or off value, and while the current state of the check button will be tracked with a integer variable, and which will be stored in a separate variable, and when the off value equal to 1 and the on value is equal to 0, and corresponding check button will be ticked. So this is what we want to make it. So now when you talk about a Greek class, you will pass a parameters as a row, which will position the button in the first row if row equal to 0, and in the second row if the row is equal to 1. That means what I mean to say that buttons I'm going to place in this case. Let me look into the screen over here. Yeah. So I'm trying to place two buttons over here, a machine learning and deep learning, where I'm trying to tick something over there. I'm trying to a small window of what I'm creating. This is what I'm going to do. So for that one, what I'm trying to say that one, so I'm defining two check buttons here. As I said that one, two check buttons I'm using over here. And so and specify some text. I'm specifying one is the machine learning, second is the deep learning over here, right? And this is what I'm doing. So the state of check button will be decided by on value and off value, while the current state of the button will be tracked integer variable, which will be stored in a separate variable, and that is what. So look into the code that I've written over here, right? So as I said that one, a normal way you are importing, right? And from tinker import, you have to top tinker that you written a tk function over there. That is called the tk you are mentioning in this window. And you are check variable 1, which is integer variable. Check variable 2 is integer variable. And there you are talking about two things are your text is that machine learning, right? Where you are checking variable is on value is equal to 1, off value is equal to 0, or tinker variable. Again, you are talking about the next one that's called deep learning. And variable, you are check variable, second variable on value is equal to 0 and off value is equal to 1. And that is what it is in the top main loop. And that's what when you run this code, and you will get such kind of things over there, right? So this is the way it is running over there, right? So this is what you have written for the which whatever you tick, and that much when you tick, that is appearing over there. So if you take another example to understand the grid, so you will also pass a column as a parameter along with a row. Column is a parameter along with a row. What I mean to say that one here, that one, what I written here, that one is a, come to know what that is. So what I'm trying to say that one, if you are creating a username and a password, something usernames Aditya given and password some alpha numeric character or some symbols are giving over there. That means here I'm trying to say that one, you are talking about a, here you are giving a text, mentioning a text and filling something, how you are doing this over there. So this is what exactly we are trying to say that one. So you will pass column as a parameter along with the row. All your we have taken differently, right? So we are taken as a value in the form of a checkbox over there, right? Now what you have to write here, so now you are creating as a username and password in these cases, and two input boxes level you have created, right? Level you given username, which is a grid, row equals 0, and username each piece is on a particular position. Similarly, your entry class is used to display the input field for username as a text level 1, and where you talk about your entry grid, which is row equals 0, column is equal to 1, and the first input field is placed over there. Similarly, second input field that is called the password also, where your grid, your row is equal to 1 and password is placed on the particular position. And that way you are putting, so hence when you talk about check button, it's a text keep me logged in, and if the second column pass is agreed with the password, that is what you are talking about a check button. So all your check button, now here you're passing the value, and with the match, the value has been matched with the database, and which is giving you keep me login. Keeping login is a click when I say that one. So this is the sentence, it is that one, you're writing check button, because this is a check button, that is what it is talking about. Check button is given like all year one, right? So check button is a class for creating a check button, which will be, is a column span, and this text is written keep me logged in, that is what the what. So this is the way small things you are creating over there. I'm just talking about very small thing. It will be easy to understand instead of going to a very big things are there. We are talking about now. See, if you must have seen that one, how it is so simple with respect to the HTML things are concerned. It is almost similar kind of things are there. It looks like identical with any kind of HTML, right? So now next is called the binding or the command functions are there. Binding or command functions are what exactly? So these are mostly as a triggered driven or event driven or something on that one. So if you take it as something like a something like that. Let me GUI with a clinker. So when you talk about this, let's say create a window wherein I'm creating a function, right? Wherein we talk about when you click me, then something will happen over there. Click me, then that means you are creating a text box. When you click it, that text box, and then a continuous loop will follow, which is a GUI with thinker. That is what I'm trying to say here. So so if I run this code, then that means when I mouse click event, then I click it, right, left click or right click or whatever thing, so that I'll go over there, right? So now the other one is called the alert text box, or this is basically what I talked about earlier one, that the mouse click event via a bind method, right? That means bind function which provides you the same functionality what we discussed over there. So this will bind you with a mouse click, and the events can be invoked with a mouse move or a mouse over or clicking or scrolling. When I hover a mouse, it do this, right? So there is the other method also, that mouse clicking event via a bind method. What I talk about, right? Something. Let me talk about that. 1 minute. 1 minute. So mouse click event, when I talk about the something that I was talking about is earlier a little bit differently. So wherein what I can say, the bind methods provides you very simplistic approach in this case. So what I that one, you can have a predefined functions which can be used for the text box. For example, left click, middle click, or right click, something like that one. That means you place a button one. Parameters of the method is left clicking event. When you click left button, and the bind method will call the function and specify as a second parameter to it. Similarly, button 2 when you play is for a middle click, or button 3 for a right click. So if you run this program, then the click the left, middle, or right button, that function will be new level text can be there. So that way you can do it well, right? So now when I talk about this was I talking about the one I'm talking about, left click, right click, all things. That is what is happening with a mouse clicking events are concerned over there. Now moving to this one that's called an alert box. So you can create an alert box in the Tkinter using the message box method. You can also create a question using the message box alert box, what I'm trying to say, and generating different alert and creating different questions that you talk about that one. So when I talk about this one, so what happened in the Tkinter message box, you are talking about alert message. This is just a alert message you talking about that one. So what this actually that one, what I'm creating is I'm trying to show you this. This is what I'm creating over here. That means this is just a window where you have an alert message, and if you click OK, then alert message will go. Or if you say I don't want to deep learning, so that's another one that is trying to say the one. So here what I'm trying to say that one, you are creating a alert message box over there, right? Also create a question for the user, and based upon the response, you can click a yes or no, whatever things are there. And that can be, if a response is 1, then the level, the Kinter level, which is says yes, of course I have lot of deep learning, and which is in pack 1. All else it is a which is a no, then I don't have a log deep learning pack 2. That is what this is in the going. This is what I'm trying to say, that when you click is it. So two different kind of alert messages are talking about in these cases over here. Then you have a something called a images, or a rendering images, what we call that one. So what rendering image means, if you have able to follow some sort of a rendering image, what is that one? So if you have been able to follow along until here, then adding an image and icon to GUI should be piece of cake as of now. And all it to know is to photo image method of a tkinter and pass the file path as the parameter to it. This is what you have to do over here. So let's have a look into the GUI code over here in this case. So what I am trying to say here, right? So in order to and you are using the Windows tkinter tk function and the title GUI that you are placing in over the top of the window, and then you want to write, you want to have a photo image, right? So then I'm talking about icon equal to tkinter photo image and file, that file you have to pick it. So whatever the file I'm picking a CNN and PNG file, and that is what is going to come over here. So to display the image, what you have to say that one, you have to use of the level method for this one, where you have a level, you are giving a the tkinter dot level, which is window image equal to icon. That what it is showing. So I'm just placing an image, right? So different image, this image has been picked from a particular file, and that is what the things that I'm trying to say here. So up till now, you have learned basic things of the small things of the tkinter, using how the layout and the buttons can be created, graphics can be used, image can be used, all things are. Now let's going to create a simple calculator with a tkinter. Now when you look for a calculator, what happened that?
Asking you something, Apika.
So,
I said just return my phone because I have to call.
in a calculator, what is going to happen? Every GUI app in
You're not listening.
creating a
Just come here.
creating a user interface and adding a functionality to the GUI. What I'm going to make is something like this way, a calculator like this way, something I'm trying to show. This is the what's a small calculator I'm making, and for that one, what has to be do? Because if you say that one, this is a calculator, it has some layout, right? And there are different boxes which you have to make it, and different layouts you are creating. Some things are there. This is one row. The second row is divided in two things. Third row, 1, 2, 3, 4 things are there. Like this way you are dividing, and in the last row you talk about 1, 2, 3 things are there. So how you are placing all this framework into place, that I am going to show a simple things over here, so that how the tkinter is making a calculator, all things are there, right? So let go a small quickly on these things are there, how I'm using with a tkinter over there. So then what I've done, as usual, you have to window which are using a tkinter, right? And you can, of course, I have to define the window. So I've defined here 312 and 324 is the window size over there. That is called the geometry, because I have to shape and size the window, and that's the window size I am mentioning over here. So in order to prevent the window from getting the resize, you have to obviously call a resizable function, which is a resizable. That is what you talk about, window dot resizable 0.0. This is what. And that window is a so-called a calculator. That is what you see, that one title we have mentioning there is a calculator title. That you see the calculator. This is what the same thing I'm writing over there in calculator, right? So now next thing that you are talking about is that over here now. So other thing that we're making is that now first window we have made it, window dot title calculator. Second thing, now going for the different functions of the calculator to be used. First is that one, you have to create a button click. That is button click function, which will continuously update the input buttons. That is called the button click item, right? Where you have to use a expression and plus a that is called the input text as a expression, right? Second is that one button for a clear button, right? There are two buttons over here in your next cases. If you see here, two buttons we are using here. One is the called like the clear button. The other one is the C is the clear for any unwanted input. You are clearing that one. So that is the clear button C, and the other one you are using this actually, right? So in this case, what I'm trying to say here, that one you have written. This is the code, simple code written over here, and the button, there are multiple buttons I'm talking about here. Then another one that's called the button equal to, so which I have given equal to function for that one also, right? So now you have to different sets, and you have including different string value, and you have to take a input text. Once all these functions are defined from the main section, where you will start defining the other things are there. Other things are there means you have to again the other functions you have to create, that's your different width, height, and the background also, where you can make it the different colors you can choose, and talking about a side span or upper pan that you can use. This is what these things I'm explaining in this window. Then you have to look into that see when you're different kind of variables over there, right? And display as a different functions over there, and that is what you try to make it as a. And of course, I say that one, if you say our calculator, the calculator is a background color. I talk about a gray. That's what is appearing as a gray. If you see here, the background colors gray is appearing. That is what reason over there.
Madam.
So
How are you, ma'am?
This way you are going to clear, right? So the first row will be clear, which is for C, and divide for this one, and then the clear button frame when you press C is when it is pressed, and which is a black in color, width is 32, height is 3, and background color is something like written over here. The second button, which is divide, which is a buttons description given over here. Color is black obviously, and the expression that I talked class, and then the width and height as mentioned over there, and that's what the second button goes over there. And the second row, obviously you written here 7, 8, 9, and different colors scheme you have used, right? And the height and width also you have used for a 7, 8, 9. That's your, I'm talking about this rows here, 7, 8, 9, and then you have button you have used, that is called that's also a color you have used, and this star you've given. Like this way you have used the second row. Then third row you have a 4, 5, 6, and minus. Like this way you are respective things you have defined. And then the fourth row where you have given 1, 2, 3, and additional buttons also you have used over there. And these are you talk about different dark, width also same, height also same, and all things are given. Finally, you have a fifth row which has a 0 and a decimal point and equal to also there. So here 0 button, this is a you given the function button equal to button frame text equal 0, and foreground color black, and then all these things you will talk about that. So point also there, then you also given different color scheme and equal, all these are given. So this is how you have created a button, and you have created a window for this one. That's what it looks like this in this way. So this is what using a tick enter, and how you have created a frame, and that I have shown now as of now here like this way. Now when I go a little bit talking about the peg function, as I talk about all the time, I'm using the peg function over there, right? So what exactly I'm using this, why I'm using this peg function, right? So though I have told earlier, still I'm coming back a little bit differently, and I can use a different now color combination over there to change it. All things are there. So these are basically as I use a peg, which is of using a different. If I talk about now a small window, when you see right hand side, I'm using a small window where I just said then red sun, green glass, and blue sky, right? So the peg function, what I'm talking about is a peg function. 1 minute. This is a peg function basically, not as a star, right? So so this is so now you are importing, and root obviously this TK you are using here. Now I'm saying that one just by giving a simple code for a small snippet over there. Here the level I talk about a red sun, and background color is red, foreground color is white, that you've seen here, red sun written. Similarly, the another peg function I'm using, the next one, which is the level, which is a green grass I'm writing here. Text is green grass, and background color is green, and foreground color is black over there, right? Similarly, third one, again I'm using the peg as a blue sky, and background color of blue, and foreground color is black. So this is the way how the peg function has been used to draw a different kind of a text box, and all things are there what you have seen over here. When I talk about all these, So these tech, grid and place, all these are basically should never mix with the same master window, because the geometry manage serve various functions. They are arrange the widget on the screen, register widgets with the underlying on window system, and manage the display on the widgets of the screen. So arranging widgets on the screen include determining the shape, position of the component. Widgets can be provided size and alignment information to geometry, but the geometry manager has always been the final say on the position of the screen. So when I talk about a pack, this is the easiest way to use the three geometry managers of TK or TK. Instead of having to declare a precisely where a widget should be appear on the display screen, you can declare the position of the window widgets with a pack command related to each other. So the pack command takes care of the details. Though the pack command is easier to use, this layout manager is limited to obviously its possibility compared to the grid and place manager. So for a simple application, it is definitely the manager of a choice. For example, when you talk about what I just told, that one, placing a number widgets side by side or on the top of each other, right? So this is the small thing that I use it. Now, when I go for this, you have seen that one, the color or so-called the background, foreground, and I just talk about different text and text boxes over there. If you see this one. Next, I talk about it. How do I see if I the same thing I'm using for different, I'm changing now a little bit so that you will get into idea what exactly I'm changing over here. Now I'm changing that one. The colors I'm changing color. So this is the fill option. So in this example, we have picking again three levels into the parent widgets, which is a root, and we use the pack without any options. So the pack had to decide which way to arrange the levels. As you can see, it has chosen to place the level widgets on the top of each other and center them. And further, we can see that each level has been given a size of text. If you want to make the widgets as wide as parent widgets, you may have to use a fill equal to X option. So fill equal to X option given, right? So if you see here, fill the w.pack fill tk.x has been used over here. So here, obviously, I am using the entire filling over there. Well, entire things prior to earlier, I was just using. So if you see comparing this window and this window, the other one. So now I am using entire thing. That's what the red sun, green grass, same thing. I'm just using a fill entire window is entire stretch is concerned. That is what is talking about that. The other one called a padding. Padding, what exactly? Let me go through padding. So this is again a pack manager which knows our padding option, that is internal and external padding, and padding in a X and Y direction over there, X and Y direction. So there I am going to pad actually X direction, Y direction over here. So here now when I say that one, the fill, of course entire filling I'm doing, but padding is I'm talking about a 10. Now if you compare this one, padding here entire thing over there, now I'm giving a 10 space padding over there. So each one, everyone, I'm giving a 10 space padding for the red sun, green grass, and blue. So 10 space padding over given. So that's what from a previous one to the right now. This padding has been given away 10 space over the pad is equal to 10. So that was 10 space from the left and 10 space from the right. It has been given, and that's what the window. We are talking about how we are layout. We are making how we are maintaining the different geometry of this one. That is what we are discussing today. I mean here now. So the padding you have seen now here. Now see the padding can be multiple ways. Now what you see here is that this is a pad X, which is external padding, which is horizontally. We can have a vertical padding. Now look into the so-called external padding, vertical padding. Vertical padding now you are giving is a space of 10, 10, 10, 10. That we talk about a vertical padding is concerned about that. So before red sun 10 10 padding, before green grass red 10 padding, blue sky before 10 padding. So this is the external padding vertically we have used. That is called the pad Y. I talk about all your pad X. This is now pad Y I'm using here, right? So similarly, now what horizontally and vertically are given. Now this we talk about a external padding. Now what happen? We can use a internal padding also. Means internal padding can be horizontally, internal padding can be vertically. So let's talk about the internal padding horizontally, right? So you see here now the internal padding has been given on the top one. Internal padding are given a 10 space over here for something, right? So if you talk about the root TK, where I talk about a red sun, and green white. Then after that, see the padding is given for the blue sky. So I written here for a blue sky padding over there. So other things I have not given over there. So that is what the left and right, we get the colors of the reverse order. We can talk about that one, right? So padding we have given for the horizontally. So similarly, padding can be given also vertically, right? Vertically. Then we can talk about placing the widgets side by side also. When I talk about the placing the widgets side by side, what can be done? So that means you see here all this thing. Earlier it was being there one after another. Now talking about a side by side here. So here I given a something like a 5 x point up to 5 and paired y 10 and side which is left from, that is what the your given read. Then red. Then after that the paired x5 and paired y 20, which is next going on, that's called the green, and like this way it has been placed. So I'm just talking about how you are managing the screen and placing different buttons are there. So this is what the placing the widgets side by side. So also we can also look into that one. We can change the left to right in the we can change also left to right. This is using that one red, green, blue. Now we can say also blue, red. For example, talk about these things. So we can talk about also instead of red, green, blue, we can say blue, green, red, something. We can do that one. That way it is that. So now we talk about the placement geometry. When I talk about, right. So of course I have discussed. Now I'm talking about, which I have told you earlier also, the placement geometry allows you split the different position and size of window, either in the absolute term or in related to another window. So we can use a placer geometry in the example, and let me show this one. We talk about we assign a different level, different color, and which we randomly create using a random methods, and that we will look into different gray value and brightness also, and look into different changing foreground color, and instead of a black we can take a white, so that it can be easily read over there. What I mean to say is something like this actually. So I talk about a Python, Perl, C++, Java, or TCL/TK. This is what I'm trying to say over here. So here I'm placing the things in a appropriate way. So I'm using the different bridges, x height, offset, and I use a geometry over here. Here this is 170 cross 200 plus 30 plus. This is what geometry I'm using, and the different language I'm talking about in my text, right? And where I'm changing different the brightness also, right? And also randomly changing something over there, and different colors also changing, and that is what I'm trying to say. So this is a different kind of geometry I'm playing this one. This is called a place your geometry manager, where you talk about allows you splitly the position and resize the window, and with a absolute term over there. The other term that we talk about is called the grid manager, where we talk about grid things are there. What I'm talking about, so grid is something like this way, where you have a grid. If you say all the colors I'm talking about, red, green, blue, white, orange, and respective colors are talking about. This is in the map a grid, and that is what we talk about a grid manager. So what exactly is trying to say something like this way. This is in many cases the while PEC is sometimes not sufficient, changing details layout. So complete control of position element, but this makes it a lot more complex than the PEC of a grid over there. So we talk about a grid geometry which took into two widgets in a two-dimensional table, because here I'm talking about a two-dimensional table over there, and that I'm talking about here. So using a grid manager, you create a widget and use the grid manager to tell the manager in how the row and column place them. So the size of the grid doesn't have to define, because the manager automatically determine the best dimension that you have used. So you don't have to worry. You have to simply look into the width and row and column, all things, rest of things it will be taken in the map a loop, and each one it is going for as example r is equal r plus 1 after another it is starting with this one. So that is what talking about a grid manager is talking about. You are having all such kind of things are there, right? So this is what we talk about our so-called the different layout management, how you do it. I have shown you simple things over there, right? Now, coming back to the Python and MySQL database, when I talk about that one, how we can look into these things are there, Python and MySQL database in these cases, right? So this is also very good combination. So many times whenever you, because it is coming also inbuilt also, if it is not installed properly, then you have to install a little bit MySQL little bit different. Otherwise, mostly it comes in inbuilt whenever you install a Python over there, right? But now we will see here how this Python and MySQL database interact and how these things are going with the insert, starting from a creator to the defining a database, creating a database, extracting all things that we'll see now on next onwards over here. So when I talk about a Python and MySQL database, so the question that when we talk about how does the Python connect to a database, that's what my point of discussion over here, right? So this is what we talk about. So there are different components. One is to understand how this connections happens over there, and this you have to look in that one how these connections are happening. So as I say clearly from this way, is you see here, right? How these are happening, and so look into that different connections over there. Now when I talk about the connections over here, now how one has to understand these things that I am going with. Now before that, many of you must have know what is the database and how things are there. Database, when I talk about, one has to look for and how does the Python connect to database and creating different database and database operation, that's called the CRUD, that's called the create, reading and update. So what this is talking about, basically it's a collection of structured data in such a way that one, of course I'm talking about here your MySQL is a structured database, but however nowadays many more things are not actually MySQL, but actually when I talk about Python and then other modern databases are Mongo and other things are there where people are not going more in the non-SQL than the SQL database over there. So that's what the trend as of nowadays. But however, this program is for MySQL. That is what I talk about, only MySQL only. But however, the current trends are different nowadays when people use a NoSQL database because it is difficult to look into that each and every data to be structured, not necessarily because the unstructured data are more than the structured data, hence it is too costly to make this unstructured into structured. Hence to deal with unstructured data as it is, that's why different kind of databases are nowadays over there, and different kind of tools are nowadays coming with the Python and Python libraries to support the NoSQL database also there. But however, as we are limited to the as of now for the structured one, so we will talk about a MySQL database. But however, there are many other things are there. So you have a MySQL, or could be Oracle database, could be a SQL Server, could be a Sybase, Informatics, or IBM, or there are many other tools. IBM DB to talk about. There are things all these. But however, the MySQL, sometimes people call, is one of the easiest database to work, and this is the simplest database as of now, and takes very less storage. And when I talk about the good part of the MySQL, then you have to look for a so-called a PostgreSQL, where this gives you a more robust database than the MySQL, of course. But as I talk about now, today's session is MySQL, so we'll talk only on MySQL. So what exactly the MySQL database actually? So MySQL database is obviously open source, freely available, RDBMS, right, which use a structured language. And now one of the most important question is, what is SQL? Right, SQL, definitely many of you must have known that one. This is basically for manipulating, creating, dropping, etc. In a nutshell, SQL allows you to do anything with the data. That's what in a one line. So when I talk about the deep into the Python database connection, wherein you will learn how to connect the database, right? How does the Python database connect to a database? So it is very simple to connect Python with a database. And when I talk about this diagram, when I talk about how the connections is sent to a MySQL connector, Python, and which is just accepted when they. So before connecting to the MySQL database, so one has to sure you have a MySQL installer installed on your computer. It provides a compressor setup tool which helps in installing MySQL.
Excuse screen is not visible, sir.
Not visible. 1 minute. Let me go up 1 minute.
Now it is visible, sir.
Wait. Let me say. Something went wrong, must be. Let me reconnect it. So is it visible, data? Is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sometimes it goes maybe in offline. I don't know what is the reason behind this. Okay, anyway. So that's what the talk about the MySQL, right? So when I talk about this MySQL database, when I talk about all these things, one is to look into that one before you proceeding something. Then one is to look into the many more things what has been used. People may use a pip command so to install the MySQL connector, or using a PyCharm command to import MySQL connector, or which can be something like this way, right? Or there could be some people may use a install MySQL in Linux environment. Then one can use for the terminals to, you can download your RPM package from this site, which is a www.mysql.com, or downloads. You can download that RPM package, and you can install RPM -I and package name, whatever the package you have. And then example, suppose I talk about MySQL 5.0.9. This is what the RPM name could be there. That's what example. And to check, you can check whether MySQL versions. If you are using a Linux, you can do that one. However, so people also use Windows. Windows are there, and then when you are using, let me run a small video. Of course, this is from the UDRX one, which is not my video, obviously. So this will give you a how do you look into. Please listen to this video so that you will get how these lessons are going on if it is not done by somebody. So let me play the video. So let me play this video. So how to install MySQL? That is what the one which is, if it is not installed, this video is Eureka. So and this will few minutes it will show you how this installation can be done. It's so simple one. I'm just playing that video to it.
Right? So basically the operating system on which I'm going to install MySQL is Windows, and to install MySQL I'm going to use the MySQL installer. So I'm using this MySQL installer because this is the easiest way to install MySQL on Windows operating system. So this installer basically provides you with an easy to use wizard that helps you install MySQL, and then after you install, you'll get the features that you can see on the screen. That is basically the MySQL server, all the available connectors for MySQL, the MySQL Workbench, MySQL Notifier, tools for Excel, tools for Microsoft Visual Studio, MySQL sample databases, MySQL documentation, and also the MySQL share, right? So I hope that you've got what all features that we'll get when we install MySQL. So let's just get started by installing MySQL. So to install MySQL, you have to go to the MySQL's official page and then go to the Downloads tab to choose Download MySQL Installer. So what I simply do is I just scroll down, and then you can just see that we have got an option to choose the operating systems and the version. So initially I'm going to choose the Windows operating system, and after that, if you observe over here, you basically have two options. So that is basically the MySQL Installer Web Community and the MySQL Installer Community. So basically, if you're connected to the internet while installing MySQL, you can go through MySQL Installer Web Community. Else, if you're offline and you want to install MySQL offline, then you can use the MySQL Installer Community, right? So since I'm online, I'm going to use the MySQL Installer Web Community. So I'll just click on Download over here. And once you click on Download, you'll be just redirected to this particular page. Now, in this particular page, you don't have to log in or sign up. You can just use the option of no thanks, just start download. So this will basically start downloading your installer. So as you can see on the screen, the installer is downloaded. So I'll just double click on that. And then you can just enter the password for your PC. So I'll just enter that. Once you're done with that, you can see that, your installer community is getting downloaded. And now you can see that, my package is getting extracted. And then we are redirected to this particular user interface for installing MySQL, right? So now what you can do over here is you just have to agree to the license agreement. So you just basically scroll down and you can go through it if you want. And then you can just click on I accept the license terms, right? Once you're done with that, you just click on next. And now once you click on next, you have to choose a setup type. So basically this is where you can choose what features do you want to come with your MySQL. So if you say developer default, then developer default would offer these particular features, that is server, shell, router, workbench, Excel, Visual Studio connectors, examples, documentation. Similarly, you can choose for server only, client only, full, or custom. So I'm going to choose the full option. So when you choose the full option, basically all the features, or you can say all the products available in this particular catalog, which basically include MySQL server, shell, router, workbench, connectors, documentation, samples, and much more, all of them would be installed, right? So I'll just choose the option of full, and then you can click on next. So once you click on next, the next thing that you have to choose is the path config. Basically, you have to set the path for your data directory and the install directory. So as you can see, you know that this selected path is already existing. So we can just change the path. So let's say I change it to server 8, right? So I just change it to server 8, and then what I'll do is I'll click on next. So now once you click on next, you have to basically check the requirements. So since we have used the full setup type, we are installing all the products available in MySQL. So there can be few products which may require any other software package also, right? So for example, you can see on the screen that, MySQL for Visual Studio requires the Visual Studio version, and the connectors require Python 3.7 to be installed. Since I don't have them installed on my system presently, I can just click on next. And then you'll get an exception saying that, those products with the missing requirements will not be installed or upgraded. So just in case if you want these products to be installed, what you can simply do is you can just check office, and then you can continue with the installation of MySQL, right? So I'll just simply continue because I don't want to install MySQL for Visual Studio or connectors. So I'll just click on yes. So once you click on yes, you'll be redirected to the installation page where you can create. So as you can see on my screen, you can see that the server, the workbench, shell, router, connectors, ODBC, connector C++, and the other products are ready to be downloaded. So if you just want to execute this particular installation, you can just click on execute. So once you click on execute, you'll be seeing that one after the other, all the products will start getting installed. So as you can see on my screen, you've observed that there's some error in downloading the file. So what you can simply do is you can just keep on clicking try again so that it's tried again and all the files are getting downloaded, right? All right, so as you can see, all the products have been downloaded. Now after that, what you can simply do is you can just click on next. And when you click on next, you basically have to configure your product now. So when I say configure, you maybe have to set your username, password, or the port it has to run and so on, right? So over here, you can see that, we have to configure a server and the router. So I'll just click on next. So when you click on next, you'll be redirected to this particular page that is basically the group replication. Over here, you can choose either the standalone MySQL server or the sandbox InnoDB classes setup. So I'll be just choosing the standalone MySQL server. So I'll just choose this and then I'll click on next again. Once I click on next, in the type in the networking tab, I have to basically choose the port number for the server. So I'll just let it be the default port, that is 3306, and then I'll click on next again. Once you click on next, you'll be basically redirected to authentication method. So authentication method is basically used to set the username and the password for your MySQL server. So over here, I'm choosing the option of use strong password encryption for authentication, and then I'll click on next. Once you click on next, you have to basically mention your root password, and then you'll have to repeat the password. So I'll just mention my password, and then I'll repeat it, right? Once you repeat the password, you can see whether the password strength is weak or strong. So I'll just let that be. Now over here, I am a user and this is my root password, right? Now if you just want to add another user, you can simply choose this option of add user and then you can add another user. I'm not going to do that part. If you want to do, you can do that and add another user to your MySQL server. Apart from that, you basically have to set the root password like this, and then I'll click on next. Once you click on next, you'll see that you can configure your MySQL service as a Windows service. I'll just check on that. You can mention the Windows service name. I'll let that be as MySQL 80. And then you can check in the box of start the MySQL server at the system startup, right? Now after that, I'll click on next again. And once you click on next, you'll simply see that, when you choose the option of execute, all the configuration steps, that means all the steps which would be executed are shown in front of your screen. So you can see that, your configuration file will be written, your Windows firewalls will be updated, and the database would be initialized, the server would start, and the security settings would apply, right? So I'll just click on execute. And then you can see that, all the configuration is getting executed one after the other, right? All right. So once you see that, all the configuration steps have been applied, you can just click on finish, right? So I'll click on finish and you can see that, the MySQL server has been configured. Now you can also similarly configure your MySQL router. So if you just click on next, and then you can choose how you want to configure your MySQL router. It's your call if you want to configure your router or not. Well, it's not needed if you just want to run simple commands. So I'll just click on finish. And once you click on finish, you just have to click on next again, and you'll see that, you'll be redirected to this particular tab that is connected to the server. So you basically have to connect to your server. So here you can mention your username and password. So I'll leave the username to be root, and then I'll give the password that I entered in the server configuration. So I'll just enter the password and then I'll click on check. So once you click on check, you can see that, all the connections are succeeded. That means our server is now connected. Now after that, I'll again click on next, and then I'll again click on execute. So when I click on execute, you can see that if any features are required to be installed, then they'll be installed and the scripts will run. So we'll just wait for this to run. All right. Now, once these configurations are applied, you can just click on finish. And once you click on finish, you can again click on next to complete your installation. So when I say complete your installation, you can see that, the installation procedure has been completed. That means we'll check on that, your installation has been successful. And then you can see that, you have an option that start MySQL workbench after setup, start MySQL shell after setup, right? So once we click on finish, you'll observe that, the MySQL workbench and shell will start. Now you can see that, the MySQL workbench has opened up, right? Now, if you want to learn more about MySQL workbench and how to use it efficiently, then I'll leave a video link in the description box.
How this MySQL has been installed over there, right? So it requires three things over there: username, password, and host name over there, and that is what MySQL is talking about, right? This is this small video what you have seen, that one, how this installation can be there. It's just a few click steps over there. You don't have to worry much on that one, and follow the click things are there, and but read before clicking anything, because certain things you may require, you may not require, and one has to look into that one, right? Because unnecessary spaces are taking over there and so many tools if you are installing, then the database becomes so heavy. So MySQL is a more lightweight database, but however, if you include everything, then it would be heavy enough. But however, for a good for a good projects or a big projects are there, then there are many more parameters may be required over there, right? So from a coding perspective, when I talk about the right, like a code of that one, when I talk about that, if you are using a package, then you can import mysql.connector, and where you can mydb is equal to mysql and connector, and which is a local host. You can use a username, password, and that way it goes over there. And once it is doing a code, if you want to operate through it, then you can operate through like this way, right? So this is the way one can be carried out, right? So as I said, that one, you can use a pip command, or you can using a PyCharm over, right? So this is what PyCharm has been used. PyCharm is another library from the Python. By using the PyCharm, you can use a command that is import mysql.connector, and this will give you a connection of how MySQL and Python has been connected over there, right? So then here MyDB, when I talk about print MyDB is the database instances, and this can be we can see also that a little later. So when I creating a database, is that one how to create a database again? If you are using a PyCharm, right, then you can use the code something like this way. So creating a database. 1 minute. Something going wrong. What is wrong there? Let me again reset it my screen. Let me. Is it now visible screen now? Is it visible screen now?
Yes, visible. Yes.
Yeah. Fluctuation, so probably it is not going or going. Anyway, so when I talk about creating, we are using a PyCharm, and that one I talk about creating database. So if you say the import MySQL connector, and MyDB is that I just written, and now next statement written is the my cursor, please execute, create a database that's called a host database, that is called database over there. So you can see this is the host database, that database is created now as of now, Now, if you want to, you can implement the following piece of code. What is called the, if you say for the show database, when I say that the fifth line, the cursor is upon execute show database, so the database will be shown as a host database over there. That's what the simple command my cursor dot execute to show database. This is I'm using a, what I'm using, I told that one I'm using a PyCharm, and from that one you can do it over there. So when I talk about the different operations that you talk about, create, read, and update, and read, these are the called the CRUD operations over there, and many time over there. These are any database, these things are all the time there, right? So when I talk about a create option, when I talk about I have to create a table, which I'm creating a table that is called the create table employee, where I'm using a name variable character 250, and salary I'm giving as a input as a integer which is 20, and that is what happens. So in the given programs, table has been created, right? There the two fields have been a name and salary over there. Okay, right? So again, there are, if you execute, then there are two tables. Table is there already. There is a so-called employee, and in that one name and salary is appearing over there. That's what you see here in the screenshot over there. Now, in order to see the table what I created, and one is to look into that one when I talk about a show table, right? My cursor execute show table. So this then it will be show you the table which is printing in a table format, and that's what this table head is. That's called the employee, and in this screenshot show table, that is what is coming. So I'm telling you, see both is see there are two ways one can do. One is that you can write code in a PyCharm, or you can use a GUI also. Both the things I'm trying to simultaneously I'm trying to show you. Here you can say that one show table. So it is showing a table. That is what the behind. See, there are certain things. As I say that one, what is Python library? Python library. There are so many libraries are there inbuilt for you. You are using it, or you can write down your own library also. That is what I'm trying to say over here. So there are both ways. Those are good. Love in coding. They can code just like that. What I'm just showing a small part of the code, or else you can also look into it. Click also. That also can be done also. Those are very simple things are there, right, to use. But however, look into the code because the codes are not big codes are there, just 1 or 2 lines codes are there, you can write down, and this will make you the system move faster. Though these things are actually what have been looking very simple, where when you do actually a project where there are so many tables are linked and lined up, then preferably you have to prefer a code than the GUI actually, right? So those are the good programmers, so they preferably look into the code. Then these, of course, codes are not a big deal. A few 1 or 2 lines codes are there. So from a read operation, when I talk about a read operation, when I say that one, you are again, as I said that one, I'm using a read operation. So here you are importing here, and again, I'm using this SQL formula, insert into employees, name, salary, values I'm given, where values as a place, and employees also there, something Harshit, Rahul, and Avnish and Amit are given, and then you are passing this data, and which is, so this can be, when I say read operation, so I'm getting those read operations, so that is equivalent to select star from employee, right? And that is nothing but these things are coming. Harshit, 2 times has been given, because I'll tell you later on how this two times has been given, and that comes to eliminate a little later also. So this is a table has been created with respect to whether you can use a PyCharm or this, and both the things can be shown simultaneously. You can see both the parts over there. Now next part is that one, you have to use the statement for different operations, like you are fetching fetching all or fetching one, something like this way. Then you have to use that kind of, that means select star from employees for so and so. So you are using that's the cursor, that's called a fetch all, right, or fetch one, right? So that way you have to look into that one. That's the statement number 8. My result is equal to my cursor dot fetch dot all. This is what a small PyCharm code over there. So for that one, you got all information, select star for employees. All the things are coming over there. Now next you talk about the fetch one. When I talk about one, so where I say that one, select a name from employee, right? So I want that one data to be fetch one only, so it's one row is going to print over there, right? In this case, yes, over there. Now when I talk about update operation, you can update operation like you have done in the PyCharm also. You write something like this way: update employee, set salary to 7,000. Here the name is Harshit. So Harshit, all your 20,000 word change into 70,000 over there. When you execute SQL, then it will execute for you, and that Harshit has been changed both the cases for the 70,000 over there. That is what you see over here. So now delete operation, when I talk about, you can also delete operation, like you can statements delete from employee where name is Harshit. So Harshit name can be deleted in this case. If you see here, Harshit name has been gone now. So like this way, one can do for the other operations are there, how the update delete operations are over there, right? So up till now, what I was trying to show you is of different kind of things over there. For starting from, these are very, very simple operations with by using a PyCharm is a tool, right? And backend side MySQL, you can use also MongoDB, anything over there that can be connected easily. Also, it's not a big deal for a Python over there. What I mean to say that one, it is not the database, it is not anything, but it is that how you are, connecting and not connecting, how you are writing the code, a small piece of code, and what the purpose of writing and what the different level of query that you're writing, that makes a difference over there. So in my next session, I'm going to show you certain projects which I have done, and on where I have used so many Python libraries and different kind of databases, including TensorFlow, PyTorch, and all things are there. And that I will showcase you after after a little break. So I want to take a little break over here for a break of 15 minutes. We will rejoin after 15 minutes, and then we will have another session where I am talking about application of all these things over there, which is my own application, which wherever I work. I am show you a glimpse of this one, what kind of application it has been used with this Python libraries, and as well as a different kind of database, not only MySQL, but also other MongoDB and other databases has been used. And with respect to the particularly I'm talking about three different sectors. One is the industry sector and agriculture sector, as well as from the education sector. Three different case studies. I'm going to show you how these things have been used. Okay, right. So
Hello, all the participants are informed that there's a break of 15 minutes and we will resume after 15 minutes. That is around 11:50 we will resume with the training session. So you all can take a break of 15 minutes and then rejoin again. Thank you.
Yes, I am not audible.
Excuse me, nothing is audible, sir.
Hello, is my voice audible? Is the screen visible now to you all? Is the screen visible now? Okay. Next session, though we are a little bit late, but I'll cover up with certain things over there. I'm talking about now the smart sensing and IoT analytics, where a lot of Python libraries and different database has been used, and this is for the work I have carried out for a couple of years. So both in the Australia, work in the Thailand, some in the Hyderabad, and some in the Mumbai. So this is all the some of the case studies, some of the works that I have been doing. I will showcase you. And data are coming from different hardware devices, and those has been captured and has been processed, and those take for analytics. Wherein different Python libraries I have been using, and that's what let me talk about that. So then we talk about a smart sensors. So these are the sensors for different instrument package that are maybe microcontroller driven or any other communication capability that is maybe on the board. The main aim is to integrate electronics and sensor to make a intelligent sensor. That's what they talk about, right? Now, when we talk about data analytics for the IoT is concerned, there are words data and data analytics that I have taken business world in Storm. So when I talk about data, there are two kind of data. So we have data in the REST, which is data collection. After collecting, you are trying to do from a database. And there are data in motion, which are data has been analyzed while data is moving, right? Because now the era we talk about, everything is in the just a click. When we talk about real-time mode, then we have to analyze the data in the form of a real-time mode, and that requires sophisticated tools and technology while data is in moving, and you have to analyze those things as well. And nowadays, when you talk about a different kind of business productivity, obviously it requires the online analysis, online, the efforts is required. That's what the works that I've been doing over here. You will look into that. And also data. Also, when you talk about this, requires a more sophisticated tools and skills to analyze a different kind of data, and that I have been talking about. Now, if I talk about the trend from the top IoT application areas, we talk about, then we have more on the manufacturing, industrial, mobility, energy, retail, healthcare, supply chain, all things are there. So the industrial IoT, which is the transforming the rules of manufacturing, fueling, edge innovation, these are different technology. You must have talked about the cloud technology, and another one that coming up, the edge innovation, and which is mostly on the for enhanced operational performance. That is what the Satya Nadella of Microsoft. So when we talk about the different sensors and talk about, of course, there is a hype is there, traditional data, and there's a difference between the traditional data, that data has been stored, and IoT generated data. There are still differences are there, and which we have to, one has to mitigate. All things are there. There are differences also with respect to the way the traditional data that we talk about, SQL and structure, and now the IoT data, when I talk about those are is again very complex to how to deal with it, and how one has to challenge the face of the data, that the way it is coming over there, that's a matter of concern. And as you talk about, everything is connected device, connected things, and these are the really challenging for the things, and the way data are coming, and these are really very good challenge for the IoT data are concerned. That is what the things over there. When we talk about any kind of a sensor system, when we talk about, we have a sensing unit, signal conditioning, analog to digital conversion, different interfaces you have, and of course all the things has to be stored somewhere that requires a sufficient amount of memory, even though for a temporary memory, and requires a communication unit or a transceiver. When we talk about different kind of architecture, we talk about the things primarily from analog devices to the machine to the people to the tools to the cars or animals, anything we talk about where the sensors actuators are there, and we require internet gateway to data acquisition system, and we require so-called when we talk about data acquisition, you need also a data visualization tool to look into that, where you talk about a software stacks or data flow, yeah, control flow you talk about, right? And then we talk about different kind of analytics or pre-processing, and the data archives to talk about. So different stages I have just shown over here from a larger perspective over there that is required in any kind of system that we have been doing nowadays over there. So when we talk about the human brain's processing and sensory data, we talk about have to look into the cognitive component part of this one, right? The place that hosts the cognitive intelligence and the latency and the high computing power that we talk about, and which we require a big data database, access memory, all the things from the cognitive point of view, which is the cloud or a host. Or there could be a link component, which is a immediate reflection you require, which is always on vigilant, and that's why we talk about online. And also we look into the locally contained behavior analysis, that is called the sensor or bot we're talking about nowadays. We talk about a bot, the word, right? So when we talk about different drivers, we have a look into the data rates and the latency and ease of integration different data, which is a measure of concern because everybody try to produce data in different way, and the compatibility and integration is all the time questionable. And then comes a small devices, obviously it has a low power things, and how do you make it into this one, and how these things are stored in the cloud and which can be easily computed. So these are the system drivers for these different ongoing systems are concerned over there. When we talk about a dimension, we talk about connection, any place, anything connection. These are the different dimensions. We talk about new dimensions over there. On the move, or we may talk on different pieces, human to human, or human to thing, or thing to thing. All this we talk about like this. So this is called the new dimension we talk about. And many times we talk about what exactly this IoT is concerned over there, right? So let's look at a simple video that we look into a small video, though I will not play much. Let's have a how this is so simplified life. We talk about more on the data, how it is connected. Let's look into what's a video on that. So you have seen here the everywhere connected devices, data has been connected, right? Though this is a little bit futuristic, but this is what the upcoming things are there. So everywhere data has been in the motion, right? Whether it's any kind of a data, whether any barcode, yeah, any all these are somewhere something is connected and somewhere something is happening over. How things are happening over there, and where the data are stored, where the data are moved, and who is looking into these data, who is processing those data over there. It talks about whether it's talking about a computer or a simple surveillance camera, or even any camera that you have installed, and that we talk about more a computer vision, and which looks into the not only just the data, but it's just trying to acquire and process those data, and also in a nut, it is just moving and trying to look into those data. Have a watch on this video a little bit more clearly. I'm talking about only data point of view. See the amount of data it has been moved in any place at any moment of time, and any things over there. All these are a connected device. We talk about that. Looking for a garage, it talks about talking about different vehicle diagnosis. All talking about, right? It is again connected to your mobile phone and giving what is the situation over there. And when we talk about the toxic fumes, which is also is garage opening and even clearing those toxic fumes from that burst. If the fridge is not properly closed, then message goes, and then it says that one freeze has not been closed. So it's coming back and closing the freeze. All the different kind of notifications are there. The notifications are that we have been seen in mobile phone. It is, but those are the small data, but that has been taken as a great importance in the life. So everywhere you are connected with things, and you are giving information or telling information or pitching information, and that is processed on the spot, and that is what the things are going. So it's all the form of notification. So look at who looks into the kind of informations, and who is processing such kind of informations. If you say automated, then how it is automated. So I'm just trying to say that all these are a means of data communicating with other data and things getting to other things. That is what I'm trying to say. So a huge volume of data has been working around the clock, and that's what the matter of concern over there, right? So you require what kind of tools and technology required to do or to process such kind of data which is in timely manner, and of course is a real-time mode. So this video is quite long, so I'm just not trying to so much. I'm just moving ahead to look into that one. So what are we trying to say? That one smart system about the things that they are sensors, connectivity, and people and process. These are three different processes that we talk about. Right? Sensors, a different kind of sensors we are having with a digital world, which is basically a nervous system of these things over there, right? Starting from oscillator to a magnetic electric magnet to a different leaks or levels. All these are in the form of sensors over there. Connectivity starting from a power line Ethernet to the RFID to the NFC to the Zigbee, or to be a Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, even a WiMAX, whatever you talk about, 3G, 4G, or 5G, whatever you talk about, whatever we talk about now. That's all our connectivity. And then we talk about a personal area network, local area network, and metropolitan area network, and wide area network. We talk about all these where basically we talk about a interplanetary network or connectivity. All things are there. When we talk about processor, these are definitely inputs can be combined into a bidirectional potential way. There's a people and process, so custom relationship, analytics on the cloud API, or a configuration or remote monitoring, or a controller automation, location tracking, or financial instances. All things are there, or could be a supply chain, it could be a security, could be a mobile app development. All things all these are people and process actually basically. So the interaction between these entities, those sensors, connectivity, and people are creating a new type of smart applications and service that is we talk about. So when we talk about it, the things get interesting when these connected devices and services start creating a compound application within their own verticals and across different industries. That's what it is going on now. So for example, when I talk about a healthcare and smart home, when we talk about that. So this is a work that I have carried out wherein the people Hussein and then from Australia, Lee Armstrong, from India, myself, Amit Mathif, we have done a work almost 3 years wherein this work was carried on the Edith one in West Australia. And this is the article published in the Journal of Ambient Intelligence and Humanized Computing, which is a Springer article. And where we talk about that a independent person who lives in a one-bedroom flat, whatever flats are there, how this wireless sensor throughout help measure health activity levels and the sleeping patterns or medication schedule, and which then provides an alert to automatically send to a healthcare service and authorize family members if any abnormal activities detected. This is the system actually. So when we talk about the things, we talk about the different specification of the rooms, where in the Kinect camera has been used, right? And this is just trying to show a different kind of locations for where the device, in some of the device can be connected, and some of the device are watched by the camera, and all things are there. Then we on how these devices are connected, I talk about several sensor technology has been used. It tests you infrared monitor detection, magnetic read switch, door sensor, pressure sensor, if a pressure sensor to detect if a chair or bed is occupied, temperature sensor to detect if a stove is being used, water sensor, electrical nuisance sensor. So all these kind of sensors has been used for a smart homes are concerned over there. This is a 3 years project that we have been carried out, right? Right, we talk about that. Then we talk about the camera, which looks into a 3D depth sensors camera, including the RGB and including the infrared, including also infrared sensors over there. That's what we talk about. A three-dimensional things has been taking about this way. So the Keynote camera, when I talk about, it also looks into a particular person with a joint ID maps over there. Where is it locked? So for a privacy point of view, it is not giving you any kind of a picture. It's giving you in a skeleton only, and to recognize a particular person, including a dog or including any female or male also there. That's what the things that we talk about. 25 joints and 6 bodies. We talk about this part over here. So then we talk about if you see here someone is sitting over there, the color image shows a person sitting in front of the sensor. The corresponding depth map of the scene is just like this way. So this is what the one I'm talking about is the what actually explained. The other things are not shown to the outside world. Outside world processor is of this actually right way. So in this way, privacy has been maintained, right? Just a skeleton of it. So detected person is like this only, right? When I talk about the different observations from this multiple figures, if you see here, all these things has been corresponding the kinetic depth has been taken to illustrate the occupants slots to detect the different SDK levels over there that I talk about. I'm just talking about briefly, but however, this is a very complicated work that has been carried out with multiple years over there concerned about. So kind of observation belonging to a person to a longer identified frequent behavior patterns has been observed from this one. You must have seen over from this camera, including the if I talk about testing a recording of washing dishes, talking here just washing a dish over there, and talk about different kind of rule set which has been devised, and the diagram shows the different number of assigned to the corresponding trigger rules. And if anything deviation from that one, it gives a trigger different deviation in a sense, maybe a fall, maybe a cut, maybe a something, some other unwanted things. That is called the deviation. We talk about that one. When I talk about these things are there, we talk about different and the images of occupant with a different kind of frames. We talk about different locations which has been recorded with the system over there. So from this one, a active daily livings with a rule set based upon different values has been taken into account over there for a particular. Of course, it is also a iterative one. It is if the rules are changed accordingly, it also calculate and accordingly do this. So it is looking into the active daily living activities has been observing by those things are there. So even though it is also detecting abnormal behavior because you are lying on a kitchen for so many so much time, and this is abnormal behavior from a kitchen. If you see somebody lying over here, which you see this is the camera detection and just showing like this. So other things are not shown because of privacy. This is the what things are there. So the corresponding binary mask of the occupant has been looked into over here, right? So a kind of a fall detection can be also. For example, if you talk about this one, this somebody's if you the lower picture, if somebody is fall or maybe somebody lying just like this way. All these are basically to a abnormal behaviors are concerned. This has been expert just showing the glimpse of it. All this has been taken care over there. So when I talk about all these, we talk about the house help. The healthy activity, like if anything deviation, this goes to a medical care or a health care. We talk about active daily living routines, monitoring and abnormal detection. This is what the project of talking about. Wherein a lot of talks have been carried out for almost 3 years. these integration become a more tightly coupled across time and stories when I talk about all such kind of things, because all these are supposed to be a real-time mode. If anything is something deviation, then it requires a thing. So if you see here, observe over here, there is a lot of instruments. When I talk about starting from electrical instrument to the electronic instrument to your mobile phone, to your camera, to your other gadgets, to the cooking utensils. I mean, with electric ovens has been also attached to the system, and that gives the a kind of a measurement which has been taken care for all as a so-called active daily living. This project was there. So a lot of tools and technology has been used, which I will list out that what are the tools and technology have been used for such kind of things are concerned over there. So when I talk about okay, so I'm just moving that tools and technology, right? So when I talk about all these, look into tools like tools have been used over here, whether it's a TensorFlow, your PyTorch, or your Keras, or sometimes we have used statistics, or sometimes we have used also Google and Tableau for visualization, right? And the Crescel for effortless infrastructure or deep learning we have used here. We have also learned the scikit learning, NumPy, Pandas. All these are some of the Python tools has been used for such kind of things. Apart from this one example, I talk about something like a Tableau, where this is because we require some sort of analytics, and then we require, so hence data on its own is useless unless you can make it sense of it. That's what the Tableau has been used for data visualization concern over there. There are certain funny things that there now when I talk about this project over there, and then we have some of a funny picture. We have to go out for dinner, but the two people are saying that one, the refrigerator is not speaking to the stove, because that means there is no communication between the refrigerator and the stove over there. So that is what these people are worried about. This is where the time is going to come to look into these kind of things over there. So that was the funny things over there. When we are talking about that one, if there was a missing of communication between multiple devices or two devices, we somehow the funny picture will comes in picture, right? So that is what we talk about. Imagine what if things start to think over there, right? That is what the point of discussion as it comes in picture. So whether you are an individual or a technology developer or an adapter of any technologies, these things which will stretch the boundaries of the today's system, and are you prepared to changes in the way we will learn, work, and innovate? That's the matter of the question now, as of now. So when I talk about the internet, gave us the opportunity to connect to the way we could never have been dreamed possible. That's what the IoT will take us beyond connection to become part of living, moving a global. What we talk about that. So we have used for the analysis, or could be a descriptive, or could be predictive. These are the different theoretical aspects that was predicting or mining data to provide any kind of insights, or to look for a smart decision, what we should do, or what we can think for what would happen also there. That was. So when you talk about a little bit NumPy, this library for Python programming language, multi-dimensional arrays or matrix can be there, along with the large collection of high-level mathematical functions to operate these arrays. This is what NumPy could be useful for this one. Even if there are certain machine learning things to be used, because ultimately the machine has to learn itself to take a right decision and to adapt itself. That's what the script scikit learn is required. There you look into different classification or regression of clustering algorithm, which is already there available, and which can be used with respect to with the Python numerical or scientific libraries with a NumPy and SciPy is concerned. That's what e-learning script e-learns could be there. There are the other libraries called the Panda, which is a software library written for the Python, and these are for the data manipulation analysis. In particular, this also looks into the structures, data structure, and operation for different kind of numerical tables and time series. These are the Python libraries one has been used because throughout this project, obviously. Apart from this one, we have something like a matplotlib, which is a for plotting the different library for a Python, and this is again a numerical mathematical extension of your NumPy is concerned. TensorFlow, which is basically used for the symbolic math library also many times, and of course many times also machine learning also applications such as with respect to because you have used a fuzzy neural network over here, and towards though we have not used much on the deep learning side, but during that time, but we're talking about this is more on the neural network, and we have used the TensorFlow for that. Keras also used for because the TensorFlow and Keras they are running on the capable of running on over the Python, right? So this looks to a more on the Microsoft Cognitive Toolkit, and that has been used for different experimentation we have used for the Keras also there. Apart from that, we use a Jupyter, which is a open source web application that allows to create and share different documentation, and you can write your programs over there, different kind of equations, visualization, and narrative expression, of course, can be carried out also. Similarly, you have also Jupyter Notebook, similar to that one, and which benefit like a Google type documents can be also there also. There is also Crescel, where some part of a deep learning, if you want to use it, then that can be used for a GUI enabled Jupyter environment in the cloud. That can be. So these are the different learning one can do with the Python tools that we talk. So when I talk about this project, as I said that one, these are the tools that has been used for such kind of applications over there, right? So when I talk about the databases, the database is not limited to only because whereas all the tools are or a other things that may comes into have been working on, and that can now the question comes over there. Be intelligent and will follow you or give you a guidance. You can calculate items you have, and not only items but also an item could be useful to you. The
Sir, screen not
hello.
Sir, screen is not visible.
So again, I'm sharing that thing. Just again, I'm sharing the screen. Hope the screen is visible now. Participants, response please. Is it visible the screen? Okay, so let me play this video. So this is a video from Beijing, China. You see this one, the trolley is following you every step on the other way. And also automatically ever it is connected to the mobile phone to the trolley has a capability on that one. It also calculates how much you are taken. It gives you information regarding the foods also. So this is the way things are moving nowadays. So I'm not showing it, entire things are there. So this is called a smart trolley, right? Wherein one work is going on in India. So that's what I'm just trying to say to the Indian scenario. This is what the shopping scenario in the Beijing, where the Indian scenario, shopping scenarios are different. So there is a project which has gone in to look into the Indian scenario, and with a the kind of bot that he has to carry, and the trolley has to be smart. That is what we talk about, the smart trolley with the Indian scenario. This is what you see is a Beijing scenario, but Indian trolley is still going on. It will come in a couple of months over there. So next, when we talk about the ability, the physics reveals some of the real-time context around a given person, which can then be combined with the expressiveness of social media data to yield a strong understanding of the individual person or a group of people. So what it means, I'm trying to say, is something like this. Your facial expression, accelerometer, gyrometers, audio, means cheering and booing, heart rate, and skin contents, all this coupled with a machine learning based analytics to inform people's emotion in a way that was not possible before in reality nowadays. So what he's trying to say is a video where he's trying to show that in this case, it is just your energy level that we talk about. Let's play the video. Just watch the video a little closely. You will come to know what is exactly happening over there. If you see here, there is a heat map is showing in left hand side of that one. It's because the cheeriness level of the people has been taken on, and those analyzed, and how happy or how supportive people are there, and to your play is concerned about that. So this is the kind of data analysis people are doing on a real-time mode, so that the interesting or the whether it's a entertainment, whether it's a sports, whether it's a that you are just measuring the energy level of the audience, or the all things are accordingly the things are moving in that direction. That is what talking about different analysis. So where different kind of sensors has been talked about, that the heat sensors has been used to understand the sensitive level of the emotional level or the cheeriness level of the participant in the system over there. When I talk about a classroom or talk about that, you talk about the monitoring or examining a student behavior in order to provide approximate analytical inference on observed cognitive and behavioral pattern. This is a typical classroom I talk about, where we talk about students are listening to you, or sometimes chit-chatting, and sometimes they don't listen, sometimes they have their own role. How do you know that one is being a teacher, that your class is an effective class, or how attentive your students are there? Can it be measurable? We are not talking about voice over here. We're talking about only the camera, the computer vision to understand that when the students are attentive, or attentive span of the student, or your teaching could be interesting on that one. Of course, it depends upon the case to case, person to person, but there is a big mathematical model behind it. Though this before pandemic, even during pandemic also, when you are going for an online, then also when you are online, your camera is on, and your expression and all things are already captured by the camera. Camera is watching to you, as well as camera is watching to the persons who is listening, and those can be correlated and can be found an interesting pattern over there, where the data analysis can be carried out. So we talk about to find out whether there is detectable interpersonal interaction among the non-collaborative scenario that we talk about to see if attention student can be accessed based upon their non-verbal behavior that we talk about that one. So we talk about the I. So we talk about I. Talk about the facial emotion awareness. About the pose estimation we talk about. We talk about say different. This is called the pose estimation. You're trying to make it the pose. The pose it was making something different, right? So when we talk about student attention, is crucial for engagement of a learning gain. Although by an ad hoc, by an experienced teacher or a constant contact with all students in a large classroom, it is all the time it's challenging to manage and demand training for novice of concept. But however, now technology is there to look into that one. But if you are sitting in front of a camera, whether it's a through a mobile phone or things are, a certain information has been catched over there. And that's I'm talking about here by using a support vector machine, and then we are trying to do this one. I'm just trying to say that one, this is a process where the video frames were there and but classic you can also online class, but this camera is one like a small child is moving now when your students are watching online lectures, something or that one, what they are doing actually, suppose we are trying to capture, and some of the movements are just trying to capture over there. And similarly, when I talk about again a online thing that I talk about, say someone student which is a little a engineering student, I'm just talking about capturing that, also analyzing those things. So these are nowadays doable. These are happening. These I'm talking about during pandemic. We captured this through your camera, what is called your laptop camera. Yeah, we try to capture such kind of thing, which is analyzing all things are there. That's what I'm talking about. That. So these are now possible there for a teachers to look in whether really something is happening other side or not, or they are simply not listening or what doing. So that is the kind of work we talk about that one. The other work I talk about, this was the little bit now going to a little bit differently. So agriculture sector, this is I'm talking about a wherein I have worked on this for the smart farming for the Thailand, where I talk a little glimpse of it, though I'm not going to take much time. I will take hardly a matter of 15 minutes more and to bind up the work actually. So when we talk about the principles of the we talk about a IoT based Thailand agriculture that I talk about this one, where we talk about network and different facilities, different controller, different sensors and collectors and gateway, and that we talk about these things are there, right? So we talk about different layers I'm talking about right here. So this we talk about also a geographical information system and IoT just combined to make a different kind of rainfall monitoring. We talk about this one in this case, and this is a centralized system. By sitting in a particular lab, you are trying to observe multiple fields over here. So there we talk about environment surveillance with a real-time surveillance, soil information, alarm analysis, a remote device, and different police support can be taken also. They're looking also. Support. Participants, is my slide visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Because notice that slide are not visible. That's the reason behind. I just again I'm sharing that one. Yes, fine. So when we talk about all this, we have something different layers I'm talking about here. Talk about the green irrigation. We talk about green irrigation in the sense like talk about the instead of wasting water. So how much water how talk about green irrigation over there right now. So if it's a less amount of water required, then why do we put more amount of water? Because the plants are model running behind it, and the in every plant we have developed model for it, and that is what we talk about. I'm talking about not a plant is a in a particular because we do a work on in the is a matter of concern because it is the you talk so from a mobile app to have the that. So in this case, data and storage, all things are concerned, and then many control and intelligent decision making system that we talk about for a functions are. There is another work that I talk about. This is a GeoICT and sensor network based real-time decision system. This is a Indo-Japan joint venture under the DST and Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and Japan Science and Technology, which is the program that we have done a couple of years back, and I'm talking about those things. So wherein this is the Indian scenario. I talk about a Thailand scenario. This is the Indian scenario where we talk about the multiple fields. If you see here, there are certain devices I'm showcasing over here. These are devices they are small, tiny computers are inside over there, and small cameras, and inside there over there they are monitoring the field over there. So the simple architecture I'm trying to say that one is that the data is coming from multiple system talking to each other, and I'm just showing you glimpse of different pictures where you see here there is a rice field, there is a groundnut field, there is a maize field. Different fields we have used for different kind of our experimentation over there, and these are talking about a distributed sensory system with IoT when we talk about, and these are around the clock maintaining the data and hence giving the information that what is going on the field. I'm not talking about I'm talking about a crop actually, not as a surveillance in the field. Crop means like you support and we support, like similarly crop also supports, so hence the crop support in the sense crops productivity we have been monitoring camera, but also the ambient monitoring, including the soil, including the rainfall, including the other parameters that we talk about that. Right. So these are some of the glimpses I'm trying to say what exactly those devices are we are using over there. Here we have using a Zigbee technology, Wi-Fi, and also 3G technology we use. We talk about a sense tube. Here we talk about a sense, analyze, and manage and crop. So this is a the earlier system was placed in the near high is a form that's for the now we talk about the system insert over there. This is again a master result is concerned over there where we have installed a system and to monitor the orange forms over concerned over there. Crop specific to adapt embedded crop specific governance system, cloud based data storage processing menu we developed over here, crop specific source information system application water nutrition management for a crop. Okay. This about him in this case. So this is insects over right now. And the side I'm talking about, there are in a sticky plate there are some there, and these are the small, and there is a insect which is not insects are amazing, but big insects are these are how much they are coming. So you want to find out the question that as you cannot see, you have measure this aphids over there, but you can count down these things are there. So can the image processing help in this case over there? Of course, we have talked about the image processing algorithm for automatic identification of aphids and predators and whiteflies for the pest count is concerned. This is what also work over there. This is again in a real-time mode. It has been talking about that way. So when we talk about such kind of thing, then you cannot forget that one. There are something like, you know, see here certain thing that you have, you know, a pest is eating out leaf and something, a leaf is crop is completely damaged in fourth figure, and then something pesticide you are spraying over there, which again, damage the development, damage the environment, and including the other parameters are there also. So the problem here, we talk about the inadequate knowledge about the factors influencing the pest and disease. That is what we talk about these cases. So here, when we talk about pest management can be helpful in this matter. So we have detail on that one. Just trying to say that one what we got information from that one, which is influencing which one that we got except from the analytics concern over there. So we found that one certain cases there is a relative humidity, certain cases there is some other parameters. So like this, and secondly, one is to we prepare some sort of a simulation or some sort of a animation tools over there. What can be happen if something goes wrong? So like this way, also we talk about different kind of a measures that how much is the at a particular level, how much is the infection level that can be also calculated on a particular day or particular time over there. Like this way, the other things here. Now, so-called a drone to modify the Indian agriculture industry. Now, as I said that one, I cannot spray. I don't know how much pesticide is required to spray. Even going to the field and damaging field is a matter of concern. Can this drone be helping now? Yes, obviously now drones are becoming industry standards, where of course there is a restriction for such kind of thing, but there is experimentation going on for such kind of things. When you talk about the drones are concerned, so drones carry a certain amount of spray, and this only spray where it is required, not the entire field over. So this can save the field. One, but also for looking a so different kind of images across and gives you information regarding a particular plant or particular crop is concerned over there. So we talk about the NDVI images, which is meant for calculating the nutrition, calculating the water stress, calculating different disease, infection, and such kind of things are there. So that is what we talk about. These things are there. So all these are then agriculture. This is basically a very complex phenomenon where is your yield is basically of these kind of things are there. Then we talk about these things are there. So this yield is very complex phenomenon, right? So it needs also information from the weather, disease, seed genetics, grow practices, and such kind of things are there when I talk about these things. So this is to understand. One has to look into agriculture domain experts in this case, and whenever we have carried out, also there were so many agriculture aspects were there to look into our kind of work. It's not that me alone I have done this. There's a team who works on such kind of different domain experts has been talking about. For example, when I look for a disease, we talk about an entomologist. When you look for agrometeorology, then look for the agriculture research scientist over there. So there are different people involved in that projects to make these things happen over there. But however, what the things is concerning that one is a major concern about data. All these are what looks into the data. If you have a right data, if you have a right information, then definitely something can be interesting thing can be revealed over there. That's part. So the point is that one different tools and technology, including hardware and software, has been used, including so many Python libraries, and then the rest of things has been used over there. Such kind of thing. When I talk about into the when I talk about opportunity, smart irrigation, smart harvesting system, and challenging terrain or cultivation practice over different mechanism of looking the different kind of a supply chain more, right? And predictive tools require there, right? And if one is to look into trends and consumption pattern, right? So all these requires a policy maker. Even enabling government and local administration for enforcing different policy, right? All these innovations for a real life applications are going to be evolved based upon the current technologies. For example, cloud, mobile, remote sensing, data analytics. So the analytics or the IoT or the smart system for agriculture phenomenon is going to ride on the convergence of the technology and interdisciplinary field of application. So most importantly, the maturity of agribusiness shall dictate the adoption and leverage in the technology which is explosion around nowadays over there. So the foreign countries, they have been, some of the foreign countries has been using these things extensively and succeeding, whereas in India we are still far behind, but there are so many research organizations, they have been working on these things are there. So when I talk, you have to integrate multiple IoT devices supporting the whole value chain, and there could be a concentrating of technology and which should be requires a different kind of service providers and a secured IoT system also, because even the systems are there, and these also require a different kind of standardization too, because without standardization these things are not possible over here. So this is a definitely a explosion are going to come over there, right? So this is what I was trying to say in these cases for my case studies where I have been used so many tools and technology. And any questions can be asked to me in these cases. I have so many different case studies where I have been used so many tools and technology related to Pythons and the databases which are essential part of the, whether data is stored or data is in motion, both has been used over there. So that's what my talk about. Thank you. Any questions, please let me know. Any questions, please let me know, please.
Thank you, sir.
From audience. Yeah.
Big thank you, Dr. Tripathy, sir, for sharing your expertise on layout management, and that we all found very interesting. Thank you, sir, for giving an excellent coverage over the topic. Hoping for a long relationship with you. We'll get with you whenever we need your help, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. All the
Thank you.
have to join at 3 o'clock on session with Rocky, sir. Okay, sir. So we can end the session here.
Yes, Lubna, we can end the session. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So I'm just ending over here. Okay, thank you.